Last week I posed a question to you, and this question was meant to help you determine what you value in life and what you think is important. The question was, if you had a group of high school students and you had an opportunity to drop some wisdom on them about how to live a good life, how to really make the most out of their lives, based on everything you know and everything that you've learned to be true, what would you tell them to set them up for success? This question was meant to help you evaluate how you define success and what you think a good life that is worth living would be. It forced you to get in touch with your own beliefs and share your best advice to this younger generation that were just about to start the rest of their lives. I hope this question helped you as much as it helped me, and today I'm going to be sharing my answer with all of you on this episode. And to put it simply, what I would tell my students, and really everyone out there, especially everyone on the It's a Vibe platform, is that there are 2 skills to learn, and that if you focus on developing these skills, you could achieve anything and live your dream life. Hi, I'm Vivika, and welcome to the It's a Vibe podcast. Thank you for being here. This one question completely transformed the way that I look at life. I remember asking myself, how could I possibly ever know what I want to do with my life without ever knowing who I am and why we're even here? And boom, just like that, a new outlook, a new perspective, a new appreciation, a new experience, a new me. Victor Hugo says, nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. You are always just one epiphany away from an idea, a thought, a moment that changes your life forever and helps you find you. It can happen at any time, anywhere, in an instant, just like that. And what a shame it would be if you were too distracted and missed it. The good news is there's a solution to this, and this podcast will help you find it by making sure that you're tuned in and aligned so that you don't ever miss another magical moment that life gives you. Join us as we help you find your epiphany moment, that aha, that meaningful coincidence that starts that new success story you begin to tell yourself every day as you become the main character in your own life and get after your dreams. I'm your host, Vivika Chauhan, and welcome to the It's a Vibe podcast. First thing I want to say off the bat is that absolutely anything is possible. You are able to create whatever you truly believe in for yourself. There are people out there every day reaching their goals and achieving miraculous things. You are no different. If they can do it, why not you? And you deserve to know that you can have it all and more. And if you're having trouble believing in that or believing in yourself, let's get some of that doubt out of the way in this episode. I think it's becoming more and more apparent that our education system isn't necessarily the best. Not that it's all bad, but I have a hard time believing that this is the best we can do, especially after I learned these 2 skills, both of which aren't really a focus in school, and I didn't realize how important these 2 skills were until years after I graduated. The thing is that the way we learn in school right now is heavily focused on information and content. Basically, the learning that we're doing is just trying to remember or memorize information for an assessment. And remembering the name of something is much different than actually learning and understanding it. Most of the learning that we do in school is for a test or an essay or a report or for a lab or just because your teacher says so or because you want to get a good mark. It doesn't focus on the actual application of what you learned in real life situations. And it isn't necessarily practical or helpful for once you leave school to learn in this way. And that forces most students to kind of just get away with cramming before an assessment or studying the night before or doing the essay the night before because the way that we're assessed allows us to do that. Because school focuses more on information, being able to remember and share that specific information instead of learning and refining and developing and applying skills. Skills that you will use long after you are out of school. Life skills. We've all heard the saying, knowledge is power. But my mentor, Jim Kwik, says knowledge isn't necessarily power. Knowledge is potential power. It's not until you put whatever you learned into action that it becomes powerful. And that, by definition, is what skills are: the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. We've all heard the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. So after everything that you've learned in school, how many of us actually remember all of that information? Can you really recall most of the information you learned while you were in school? For example, when you memorize for a specific test, that information doesn't stick with you. When you learn it and use it continuously, and you learn to use it in a task and execute it, you're more likely to remember it because you're involved in the process. And as you repeat it, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes a skill. And school doesn't really focus on life skills. Other than reading and writing and math, which is what we learn in elementary school and earlier years, it then moves away from developing and refining skills and learning new skills to just absorbing information. And Albert Einstein says, never memorize something that you can look up. So learning that way is just simply not effective learning. School is meant to make you a lifelong learner. But when people graduate, most of them are excited to have to never learn like that again. School shouldn't make you do that. School should make you excited to continue learning your whole life. The key is that we've just been learning in the wrong context. Most people associate learning with only school, and they only really exclusively do it at school. But learning is so much more than that, and it happens daily, every single day, in almost every single moment. And so it's key to look at what is our true motivation for learning if it's not just school. Why do we spend all those hours and years studying for? The reason why you get an education is simply so that you can live the life that you want and you deserve. Not just because you want a good mark or because teacher or school made you feel like you had to learn. You are learning for you. That's it. Simply for yourself so that you can create the life that you want. So this brings me to my advice, the 2 skills, these 2 life skills that school doesn't really focus on, but I've found to be critical and essential and vital in order to live a good life full of health and happiness and wealth and whatever else, in whatever way that you define success. And so the 2 skills are self-education and self-awareness. Self-education is basically just falling in love with learning. To always be learning, to never stop learning, to become a lifelong learner, and to enjoy the act of learning new things and actually learning things that help you in your life, to help you get towards your goals and to live a happier, healthier, successful life. And the second skill is self-awareness, which is simply learning who you are, learning who you are to your core, to your roots, what it means to be a human being beyond just getting a job or trying to make money, how to actually be happy and live a life where you feel confident in your own body, in your own mind, in your own skin. You can live authentically, not that you're trying to be somebody else. You're actually just being yourself, and that is more than enough, and you're happy doing that because you're connected to who you truly are, and that feels amazing. And that is developing the skill of self-awareness. And these are the 2 main messages of the It's a Vibe platform, self-education and self-awareness. And these are 2 things that I'm excited to continue to learn about and teach about because I've realized how important these things are. And so I want to take a quick second and explain to you how I came across learning these 2 skills. Self-education and self-awareness came into my life when I was completely lost and had no clue what to do. I was stuck and at a crossroads in my life, and I had just finished 2 university bachelor's degree after like 6 years. And then I became a teacher, so I was working back in the education system. And as I was working, I couldn't stop the thoughts of, is this it? Life has to be more than this. Is this all that there is? I just have to wake up and repeat almost the same workday from now, 24 years old, all the way to 65 years old? Is this where my life has taken me? And I just started to question it because it didn't feel right. Because I thought I had did everything that I was supposed to do. I got really good grades in school, and I was involved in extracurriculars, and I got my 2 university degrees. So where was my success? Because this whole time, the idea that I was being pitched is if I did well in school, then I would also do well in life. And when I got to the end of school and was actually in real life, it just didn't feel like I was even happy. So how do I make sure that I'm happy for the rest of my life? How do I make sure that I'm also wealthy enough to even survive and support this life that I want? When do I get to learn about that? When was I supposed to learn about that? And how did other people learn about that? Because I went through the same schooling system and there was just this big disconnect, and I really started to look into it. And what I started to look into was I started studying successful people. How did they create these amazing lives for themselves? What were they doing? What did they know that I didn't know? Or where did I go wrong? Or what am I missing? And as I was studying these successful people, and successful, I just mean like good world leaders, people who are creating a positive impact in this world, not just rich, people who are good people and helping other people with their problems and helping them in their lives. And so as I was studying these mentors, I realized that all of them had these two skills in common. Now I want you to think about and picture some of your mentors in your head and tell me if this sounds like them. Are your mentors lifelong learners? Did they realize that school is not going to teach you everything that you need to know, and that there are a lot of gaps between our education system and real life? And these people continue to educate themselves outside of school on things that they loved or things that help them create that successful life that they're living. They self-educated, and they do that daily. They read books, they learn from other mentors, they try new things, they learn from experience, and now we have the internet to learn endlessly from. All these people, all these successful people didn't just learn in school, they learn all the time. If school really taught us how to be that successful, wouldn't we all be that successful? Our education system seems like it kind of just gets you a bare minimum of being educated so that you can get a job. And people who have created that next level success and happiness for themselves went beyond just what they learned in school. They fell in love with learning, and they see it as an opportunity to help them achieve and get the life that they want. They learn all the time. And they enjoy learning because they see the reward that comes from continually learning every day and self-educating. It gets them closer to their dreams and their goals, and they enjoy the process of learning those new things. And so I did some self-educating on my own, and I took an online course of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. It's their course that they're promoting right now called the Knowledge Broker Blueprint. And the main message of that course is that self-education is the new norm. This is the new way to learn, and more people are waking up to this truth and achieving and getting after their dreams. And honestly, it's never been easier because of the internet and the access we have to information so quickly and the ability to learn from one another and being connected this way. And so everyone learns differently and has different interests in what they learn, and school should help you identify this and help you discover your passions and your strengths so that you can use it in real life, in life after school. And so that's why self-education is so important in today's world. It's the missing ingredient in many of our lives because most of us just depended on school to teach us everything that we need to know. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. And that's what Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi are promoting, is that this is a new industry, the information industry, learning on your own, online or through mentors or through books. Self-educating is the new way to learn because it's much faster and much more reliable than waiting on the curriculum to change. And so changing your perception of learning can have a significant impact on your life. Looking at it instead of something that you have to do, look at it as something that you get to do because it can truly help you create the life that you want. As soon as I heard Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi say that self-education is the new norm, I was hooked. I was fully on board. And after taking that course and self-educating, I saw the difference it made in my life. And I saw the value that comes from learning this way. I learned from Tony Robbins how to teach in ways that I didn't even learn in teachers college. And it clicked to me, and it made so much sense that this is how successful people have been creating their success. They learn this way, they learn on their own, and they continue to do so. And Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, to put in perspective how big this self-education movement is that they predict that this industry will be a $1 billion a day industry. And so self-education really is the new way to learn, and it's how you can get to your next level of success. And a lot of people are waking up to this, especially during the circumstances we're in right now, being able to work from home or learn online. All this information is available to us, and self-education is the way to keep moving and get to your next level. And this brings me to the second skill, which is self-awareness. Every single great leader or successful person has some level of self-awareness, which is that they realize that they create their own reality. They're tuned into their thoughts and feelings and emotions, and they're genuinely designing and creating their lives from within themselves. They realize that there's an entire world or universe that's inside of them, and they understand this at a deeper level, which helps them understand who they are at a deeper level as well. And with this deeper understanding comes a greater power and greater potential, because now they have come to learn from experience that their thoughts and their feelings create the reality that they live in. They have developed this inner awareness, and they're using that awareness to create. And that awareness is essentially who you are. You are the creator. You are the one consciously creating your life. And when you tap into that consciousness and you start tuning in, you develop this awareness that you can use to create your life instead of seeing life as just something that happens. You begin to create your own luck. You create your own destiny because you understand how powerful your thoughts and feelings really are. You understand the energy of your body. You understand how you fit in to the world and to the universe, and how you can use your human powers that you were given to actually create the life that you want. Instead of just thinking life is something that just randomly happens. You know that your thoughts and feelings are creating the reality that you see in front of you. And they work on and develop this self-awareness every single day and every moment. This is what it means to be present, so that you can use your awareness to align with your dream lives, so that you're using your awareness to get rid of anything that isn't serving you or getting you towards your goals. All those low vibe thoughts and low energy thoughts and doubt and shame and guilt and fear. You can learn how to get rid of that through becoming aware of it and letting it go, and then replacing it with high energy thoughts that align to whatever you're trying to get after, whatever your goals are. And then you use that awareness, which is your focus, to think about those things and visualize and create the life that you want, and you work towards that. And then you gain momentum and motivation and confidence, and you start feeling good within, and that radiates outwardly into your life. And then you're able to use this awareness to navigate through your own life. Life is full of up and downs, and when you're centered and connected, you're able to see the things that come into your life that maybe aren't necessarily as good as lessons, and you can learn something from them and then let them go. You're able to recognize opportunities and see things that move you closer towards your dream and bring your level of awareness and your focus towards it, so that you can connect to it and then live a good life full of success and happiness and good feelings. You begin to embody that awareness, and that allows you to be present in your life and notice what's happening right in front of you, where this is the only place that life is happening, in the present moment. And using your awareness to tune into that helps you navigate and go through your life in order for you to help get you towards living that good life that you wanted for yourself. And this is something that we're not taught in school at all. You're not taught that everything going on inside you is a direct reflection of the world outside of you, and that you're always influencing your external life based on everything going on within you. And most successful people have discovered this on their own, or through their experience, or they learned it somewhere, and now they're applying it in their own lives. They've developed this mindset that helps them create success and healthy habits that allow them to constantly be aware enough to let go of all the bad and just focus on the good, to not focus on the problems, but to focus on the solution. You need some level of awareness to do that, and that can be learned and developed. Like any other skill, self-awareness is a skill, and in my opinion, one of the most powerful ones, because it's truly who you are. And we're just simply not educated about that at all. And when you realize you create your own reality, things begin to change, because then why would you hold on to your fears? Why would you worry about the worst case scenario if you know that by focusing on it, you're more likely to draw it towards you? And instead, you can learn how to focus on the life that you want to build for yourself and practice it and visualize it within yourself and become it and be grateful for it. And then by the laws of the universe, you're simply attracting it and drawing it closer to you. This is the law of attraction. This is the secret that many successful people have learned that just simply does not make it into our education system. And so learning these two skills on your own will help set you free. And that's why so many successful people practice these two skills daily: self-education and self-awareness, which is essentially just learning how you can best learn and falling in love with the process of learning and learning who you truly are. And one of the last points I want to bring up is that I know I'm giving school a hard time and I'm being tough on our education system, but it's simply because school is a pain point for me. School kind of hurt me. I put all my trust and faith, and I believed that school was like my golden ticket to success and that things were just going to work out for me if I got good grades. And after learning about these two skills and studying successful people and seeing that there's so much information that's useful and practical and helpful to people that's left out of these curriculums, it became a pain point. And through my own self-education and my own self-awareness process, taking that course, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, the Knowledge Broker Blueprint, something that they talk about is to identify your own pain points in your own story and then talk about them, be open and vulnerable to them. And that way you'll be able to connect with your audience who share the same pain points as you. And what I'm coming to realize is that most of the world, especially the Western world that's been educated, might have this similar pain point as I do, is that school was almost like a disservice to them, that it put them back in life through debt. It didn't really help them get the life that they wanted or the job that they wanted or to create happiness or good health. School was missing out on a lot of information, and I want to bring this up in hopes that I attract people who have gone through the same struggle that I have. If school has been something that you thought was going to get you everything that you wanted in the life that you wanted, but didn't end up necessarily doing that, then this is something that I think would really help. By learning and developing these two skills of self-education and self-awareness, this can help solve that pain point, to help solve those issues that came up from going through school this way. And if you're somebody who's graduated or maybe you're in school now, the reason why I'm being so tough on school, and maybe you feel the same way, is that I know that we can do better. I know this isn't the best that we can do, and that we owe it to our children and our future generations to educate each other and help each other in the best way possible. And learning these two skills have helped me the most, and I think by implementing them in school, it would make all the difference. But the problem is we can't wait for government curriculum to change these things, and that's why I promote self-education and self-awareness on our own, learning on your own, falling in love with the process of learning, and then learning more about what makes you you. These are major keys to success and what a lot of mentors and successful people promote. And if school isn't going to teach it to us, then we deserve to teach each other and educate each other through platforms like this, through podcasts, through Instagram and social media. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this podcast episode, by promoting these two life skills, self-education and self-awareness. I really think that this is what can help people the most, especially if you have a similar experience with school as I did. And I'm excited to continue to talk about it and promote it and learn with all you as we move forward in this It's a Vibe movement, in hopes that by spreading this awareness, it can help you just as much as it helped me and millions of other people out there. And so I want to end on some good news, because I know I was just tough on school. And I want to point out to you a way that will help you feel more confident about developing these two skills, self-education and self-awareness. And this is excellent news, is that both these skills are innate. You already have both of them. You've had both of them since the moment you got here, since the moment you were born. So these aren't necessarily new skills. You're just rediscovering them and redeveloping them. You have them. They're within you all the time. Think about babies. They're like sponges. From the moment that they're born, they're just continuously learning nonstop. Every chance they get, they're always absorbing information and learning and taking action on what they learn. Nobody taught babies how to learn. They're just naturally inclined to do it. They're just paying attention to life and the world around them, and they're learning. You already know how to learn. You've been doing it every single day of your whole life. And we've been doing it in school as well. But now it's time to actually start learning things that actually help you, that serve you, that excite you, that get you where you want to be in life, because you deserve that. And if you aren't quite sure what to learn about or where to start, the best thing you can start learning about right now is yourself. That's self-awareness. Learning more about who you are and what makes you you and what makes you human. You came into this world as yourself. You weren't trying to be anything else. You only know who you were. It's society and everything around you that tries to make you something that you're not. But at your core, at your roots, you know who you are. It's your true nature. All you have to do is simply reconnect with yourself. Become self-aware. And you can do that by looking within yourself. Rediscovering these skills that are innate within you. So that is the best wisdom that I can share with the world right now through everything that I've learned and experienced so far, which is focusing on developing these two skills which you already have: self-education and self-awareness. Don't just associate learning with school. Fall in love with the process of learning and see it as new opportunities. Never stop and continue to keep learning about what makes you you, and you live that truth fearlessly. That is how we can live a happy, a healthy, wealthy, and successful life. Tune in to everything going on within you and just be you. Always be learning and watch your dreams unfold right in front of you. I'm your host, Bhavika, and I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the It's a Vibe podcast, especially because this is a message that I think is so important for me to get out there and share with the world, is that developing these two skills can have such a positive impact in your life. And so if you agree, or if you have any comments or just want to talk or any sort of feedback, I would love to hear from you. You can get in contact with me on Instagram. You can send me a message or comment on a post at It's a Vibe Movement. I would genuinely love to hear if these two skills resonate with you, or if you've had a similar experience with school, because I'm really trying to help certain people that have had that type of pain point and that type of struggle, because I want them to know that there is a solution, and it's one that can really, truly transform their lives. And so please share this with anyone you think this message would help. Please like, subscribe, and keep tuning into this podcast if you find it useful and helpful. And please, if you have any feedback at all, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for all your support and for listening. I appreciate you all. Hope you have a good one. Peace. If you like any of these, like learning new things, having new experiences, personally developing, self-awareness in the universe and energy, self-education, science, philosophy, yoga, breathwork, ancient truths, religion, consciousness, health and wellness, nutrition, the art of storytelling, music, nature, epiphany and aha moments, profound synchronicities, the mind, body, soul, spirit connection, and just all around good vibes, we definitely have a lot in common, and we are vibing on the same frequency, and I like your energy already. Please join this experience by liking and subscribing to this channel, subscribing to this podcast, and sharing it with your world. Let's see what we can get up to. Let's make some waves together. Follow Instagram and TikTok at It's a Vibe Movement for high vibe inspiration. And remember, you really are just one epiphany away. Thanks for vibing. Peace.